Hi everyone, how's it going?
Hola.
Hello, we're
Hello.
good. I'm good.
What's
Good night.
popping? What's popping? Oga Femi, and Oga Femi say we dey call am now. So if you like say you move backwards a bit too, please always look at your screen to make your face dey inside. So how's it going now? How's it going? How's the week been? How's everyone doing? How are we chilling? How are we popping?
Life is always rough.
Eh?
Life is always rough, so it's fine.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, it's been an awesome week so far. So
It's been an awesome week so far. So, anyways, we are live. I just checked on YouTube and we're
Mm.
actually streaming live at the moment.
So that's good.
okay.
So it's an awesome week so far. That's nice. I'm glad that we are here. I'm glad that we are able to come together and still have this chat. It's nice. It's a good thing, and yeah, hopefully we keep rolling. So well, we are gathered here today to do what we came to do. No, seriously. I just wanted to let everyone know that we are having a good time. We are chilling. We are living life, and yeah, we want to talk about things that matters to us now. But that's why we are here. We are trying to fix our culture, see how we can make where we come from, Nigeria, a better place. See how we can positively influence our lives and the people around us. And yeah, that's about it. So today's our topic today is Ojude Oba. Please, anyone should correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Ojude
I
Oba
think I think
and
yeah, I think it's right. Yeah, Ojude Oba.
okay, Ojude Oba. Yeah, cultural brilliance, economic blind spots, and yeah, the future of Nigerian festivals. So it started as a joke. I would say it started as a joke, and it has now become a trending topic for like the third year in a row. It's one of Nigeria's big festival. So we'll have some touch points. We are looking at the cultural legacy. We are looking at Nigerian festivals everywhere in a perspective, and we are looking at like kind of like have they been missed opportunities and what festivals in Nigeria should be looking forward to in the future. Those are some of the things that I'll be touching in today's podcast. So first things first, uh, let's proceed. First things first. Why has Oju Oba been unique, and what role does it play in the Yoruba, or let me say Ijebu identity and Nigeria culture overall? Who is going first now? Who is going first now? Why is it unique? What makes it unique?
Well, it's very unique from the perspective of the Ijebu culture and the Yoruba uh, culture by and large. So we need to go to the history of Ojude Oba, what it actually means. It's been a festival that's been on for 200 years plus, if I'm not mistaken. But it started in the 1850s or something like that. So it's been going on.
1850s.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's been an old festival, and the background is Ojude Nijebu means the king's courtyard or the king's frontage or the king's fence or whatever. That's what it means. So people like take the festival period to go and pay homage to the king. It's even that there's that story that it started with the Muslims who go and give the king ram after fasting, just to say thank you, to wish him good health and all that. So, and Ijebu land being multi-religious between the Christians, the pagans, and even the Muslims. So it's a way of uniting the entire Ijebu people, and that's how they all came together. And that celebration till date, it is what it is. Every Ijebu son and daughter, what they are sold, actively participate in the Ojude Oba festival. They might not be there physically, but then it resonates in their thinking, in their mind, in their identity, as in whom they are, and they always want to connect with the festival. So that's just it. Beside all the steeds and the razzmatazz as well, that's
The
just
steez. We'll get there. We'll
it's
get
just
there. There's a
just
steez
going to
aspect
say
to
hello
it.
to the king. That's all, and his chiefs. That's just it.
Yeah, I think yeah, it aligns with what I have in mind about the festival. Like Ogafemi rightly said, the Ojude Oba festival, it's a very ancient festival. And like all other ancient festival in Nigeria, for instance, the Iriji, the New Yam festival. So it's very unique to the Ijebu people and the entire Yoruba kingdom. And one thing that also makes it unique is that it comes after the Ileya, the Ide Kabre festival, Ide Kabre Muslim festival or religious festival. So this really makes it unique because people after the celebration of the religious festival, they still stay behind. Sons and daughters stay behind just 3 days after the religious festival to celebrate their king, to pay homage to their king. And it's a form of rallying for their king to tell the king that, yeah, you are our king and we acknowledge that, we respect that, and you always be our king. So, and you know that because Ijebu is an ancient kingdom, their king it's revered. The kingship is revered in Ijebu kingdom. Then they call their king His Royal Majesty, and it's a very significant.
They are would Janle of
Yes, it's very
Ijebu land.
significant in Nigerian traditional system and Nigerian political setting. So the festival is very significant. It's culturally significant in Nigeria, not only in the Ijebu Kingdom.
Well, I want to. I intentionally did not do a lot of research into the festival before coming in here, because I wanted to come in from my original perspective of what I thought the festival was. Being someone who one of the only festivals, and we'll get to that. We'll get to talking about other Nigerian festivals. A couple of years ago, there was a trend. There was this guy in a horse. No, first he came with one video, and shout out to this what's his name?
I think it's Ni Fagbemi.
Yes, Ni Fagbemi. Thank you
Videographer
for
now.
giving his
Yes.
name. Yeah. And he I think he's the person I feel should be the one the government should be meeting and saying thank you to, because that guy single-handedly made that festival as popular as it is today. There was a video trending online, and what he did was he showcased how beautiful the Yoruba, to me, the Yoruba culture was. Beautiful outfits, beautiful looking women, beautiful looking men, and everybody in an environment, the style, the hand farm, bright, vibrant colors. And I was amazed by it because the Yoruba culture has always been known for their steez and their ability to make things like look sharp. So at that
Very
particular
colorful.
time, yeah, at that particular time, I was in shock because, wow, what festival is this? And not until recently. So there was something missed. Not until recently started understanding that it was a festival about the Jebu people and paying homage. So I think for me, it came to me as, oh, this is something that is new. This is a festival that they do. I did not even know it was a yearly festival. But over time, I'm starting to realize, not because I was shown, I will come to that, but because I started asking questions. Especially when we knew that we're going to talk about this festival today, did some more research, and I'm starting to learn more about it. This is 3 years later. I think this is the third year I've been seeing Farouk has actually shown. And before we get to the Man of Steel, so it was, for me, it was more like a festival that, oh, about Yoruba people, but I did not really know much details into it, even if I'm a Nigerian who has lived in Nigeria for a large part of my life. So I did not really know what it was about until very, very recently. So I want to still come from my angle of not knowing much about it and want to see how much you can learn
because
from
your
it.
generation, they don't want to know. That's why. But if
I'm
I
going
was
to,
Yeah,
I'm going to save our generation.
Wow.
wait.
please
So,
Do you
save your
know?
generation.
Do you
Save
know?
your
Do you know?
generation.
It was this morning I had to research about the Ojude Oba. I don't even know what it's all about.
You see, so someone else.
So
But
I
think,
was in
go
I
on.
was in Ojude Oba in 2017. I was
Oh,
there,
thank you.
right?
That's
So
that's 8
so
years
I want
ago. I mean.
to
Let me
yes,
bust your
that's 8
bubble.
years ago.
Mr. Farouk Oreagba has been the face.
Yeah.
He has been participating actively in the Ojude
Yes.
Oba Festival for the past about
Yeah.
20 years. Has been
Mm.
actively.
Mm.
Okay.
You understand?
Well,
Actively. So the
So
thing is this. I think social media just blew it up. Just blew it up to another level. Of course, there have been people posting on social media now, but I guess it was just the time for everybody to like say, wait, what's going on here? I think that was just that moment, just that moment,
yeah.
I guess it was just time.
Yeah.
Ike has been going
Yeah.
since 2017. You that his close friends, I'm sure you didn't even know that Ike has been going since 2017.
oh,
Okay, no,
we'll
I
get there.
went.
No, I don't want us to. No, I don't even want us to
Yeah.
even go. We'll get there. I don't want us to shift,
Yeah.
so we'll get there. But
Yeah.
let's let you hear
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the experience.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I wanted to also talk about why it's unique. I think Ogafemi said something that I had in mind, which is that it's a uniting of everybody basically. Both Christians and Muslims. Everybody is there, even if you don't believe in any god. You are there having a good time. For example, I was there in 2017, and that was the only time I had gone. I don't know if I'd gone again after then. And that's because my
Why
friend,
did you?
my
Was it
friend
not for
has
work you went? Was it not for work you
no, no,
went?
no, no. It wasn't to no. It wasn't to my friend is from Ijebu Shegun now, and we
Okay.
went together.
Wow.
Even all of us in that squad then, we all went there together. And I'm very friendly with his grandfather. Like that means like growing up then. So and it's from that place. Was his grandfather? Yeah, somebody shot. So yeah, it's a uniting of everybody. And when you go there, apart from even the arena where the whole horse riding and everything is happening, they are different because it's also a Muslim celebration and also like this Ileya celebration. There are parties everywhere. So literally we were like in this cousin's house, this uncle's house, eating and drinking and everything was good. So I think that's one thing that makes it unique. The fact that it brings all of this religion or everybody together. And it's something that's also very, very unique about the Yoruba people of Nigeria. And that is, I have a lot of Yoruba friends, and that's religious tolerance. You will see a Muslim father, a Christian mom, and everybody's
Mother.
living peacefully.
Exactly.
Everybody's
I
living
really
peacefully
really like
and happily.
something.
So yeah.
I really like something that you said here because and I'm glad that we actually have someone in this conversation who has been there not very long ago, and is giving us that perspective that we don't necessarily see on the media, because what we see on the media is just that day. And I like the fact that you've mentioned that it's not just the festival in the venue, it's a festival that is around and everywhere. It's a feeling. It's like Christmas, the way the Christmas feeling in Lagos back in the days. I don't even know if that exists anymore, but it's just like that feeling that you get when there's a festival around and you can bust into any place that is happening and you can have fun, drink. So I think that's really nice. So it's a good one, and it's a kind of a festival that probably should be getting more recognition than it is, or should have gotten more recognition than it is. So this will lead me to my the next thing that I think it's important is Ogafemi actually did something that's how well, he said something that I want to attack, and I will attack it. He said young people, myself includes the younger generation, which is millennials. I don't want to say the Gen Zs because I cannot speak for them, have not or do not learn about this culture. But this brings me now to
I didn't say so now because
you are
you're
saying
sick.
so.
You
You
said
said
it
so.
yourself.
You said so. You said
You
so.
said it
I said I'm
yourself.
not aware of the culture, but
Yeah,
you said
no, when
so.
that's it.
But you said so. I will say that you said so. Is it our responsibility? First, what other festivals? Because maybe for the purpose of whoever is listening and watching this call, what other festivals do we have that should be like growing up? I know about Calabar Festival.
Yeah.
There's this one that NTA used to show now. This fishing festival now.
Agungu Festival.
Agungu, yes, Agungu Festival.
You see,
NTA made sure it was etched in our memory.
Yeah, you know,
You see,
Yes.
that's the thing. NTA back in the days usually show some festival in some part of Nigeria.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that there are other interesting ancient festivals that go on in other parts of Nigeria that are not even shown in, that people don't know, that you don't know. Do you know in Owerri land? Owerri is an ancient kingdom. There is this festival they usually do, Oru Owerri. It's very popular in the eastern part of Nigeria. Even the Calabars come for the event. It's after the Iriji festival, where every age grade come out to celebrate each other, and their king is just like the Ojude Oba. So when I heard Ojude Oba, it flashed, it came to my memory that something like this happened in Owerri. All age grade, colorful display of judges, clothes, different dishes, everybody coming to dine and wine with their friends home and abroad, and it's just fun, So there are
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, you can search it up.
A lot of things you've never heard of.
No, that's why. That's the conversation. See, I am coming from this angle of many other young Nigerians that have not heard of it as well.
Let me say this. At least I'm a product of the 70s. I saw part of the 70s growing up, the 80s. I remember vividly, of course, the 90s down. So I can tell you, like he said, there was a program back then on NTA. And don't forget, NTA was all we had then. We had no force. There was no proliferation of TV stations or cable stations as you had now, that you can decide to say, look, I'm not interested in NTA. But then you were forced to be interested in NTA. So then, culture, I've forgotten the name of that program. Maybe if I research, I'll look for it. Every week they talk about festivals in Nigeria. The presenter goes around the states, villages. You understand? There's a particular festival in Benue that still resonates in my memory. I watched that festival when I was young. I don't remember. I'll check. I can't forget. A toy car. I don't know how to do it. A toy car. You see the toy car moving. One of the masquerades entered that car and came out.
Really?
Yes. I'll check on the name.
It must be a very magical.
It's event. A magical festival. I think somewhere in Benin. I have seen one festival in Benin. They say you don't fetch water with a basket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody fetch water with a basket. These things do exist, but I think as we started to evolve and people started to have choices, it shifted.
No, I think I have a. Sorry to cut, but I think I have a reason. You see, a lot of the time I realized there was a point because there was Goge Africa.
Goge, yeah.
Then. So
Goge
there was a
more
point.
Musical, have you, right?
Yes. No, not just musical. It was culture. It was showcasing cultures of different parts. You see, there was a point. There was a point where there were channels, programs, and we all keep going back to things like NTA. There was a time during the time where Silverbird, all these other modern stations came out, somewhere along the line, the producers of this show, they made a mistake of failing to move according to the trends. NTA of 2025 probably still looks, when you watch the picture quality
like
and the program quality, still looks like NTA of 1980 or I would simply say 1980s. I thought I got tired of watching those culture and tradition, but we did not. Remember, let's tie it into the fact that this NIE showcased that tradition. If that was an NTA clip, this festival will not have this. That's why I said I will give it back. See, before I get
No,
to
no.
Farouk,
You don't understand
I
what
will
we're
give it to
saying.
Nia.
Nobody's saying that there has to be NTA. But what we are saying that historically, this thing has been there.
No, I am not saying it as not. I'm
NTA would
actually
have
adding to
taken-
what you are
yeah,
saying.
NTA took it to the best of their ability as far as it could get. So it was not left for other
But
people.
where did the disconnect come from? Because there was a
No,
disconnect from my
wait,
own
wait,
generation.
wait. No,
The
what I
disconnect,
think,
see, I think the disconnect came from the fact that maybe other producers of newer TV stations did not want to go with the trend. Everybody was looking for how to stabilize, how to make money, how to connect to a different, don't forget,
and
different audience.
yes,
You
and
understand? A different audience.
remember that it's in the millennial generation that we had about internet and internet bloom. So because of these internet blooming and escapades in internet, let me just use the word escapade. We were not really interested in NTA shows again.
So do you think
So
it is
people were more connected and concerned about what is happening in the internet. So until they brought the Ojude Oba and all these things to the internet, we don't know. Where did you say it for the first time, Mr. Jerry?
this is what I'm
not
saying.
From social media.
No,
I get what Jerry.
If we saw that video, see,
Mm.
again, let's remember the quality and the format each which media is presented. It matters a lot. If that video that trended, remember, what is this festival associated with now? Steez. The beautiful pictures that come from it. See, it is not the responsibility of younger people to preserve tradition. It is the responsibility of older people to present tradition in a way. See, Western world, in most parts of Europe, culture is preserved. If you go to places like England, Ireland, other places, their culture, their tradition, and they find a way to modernize how it is showcased to the younger audience. So during the internet era, whose responsibility was it to start making these traditions? Because there was a time where BB Naija, that station that showcases BB Naija, after Big Brother Naija ends in DSTV, they start showing Calabar Festival in December. So whose responsibility was it? Because to start showcasing this tradition in a way that the audience, because the younger generation does not want to watch a festival video for 3 hours or 2 hours. Give us 10 minutes. In fact, nowadays, weddings don't even do 1 hour coverage anymore. Most weddings do 5 minutes. Give us short, event-filled, packed, and rich content. So nobody showed us that content in the way that we will appreciate it. Because everybody says, you young people don't care about it. Why don't you find ways to make us care about it? Our attention span is different. How we consume media is different. Whose responsibility was it to find a way to make us appreciate it?
Mr. Jerry, if you keep asking whose responsibility, it looks as
if that's why we are seeing. But that's why
you're putting blame on some people.
That's why. That's why we are having.
I think it's also our responsibility as millennial generations to.
No, it is not.
To have interest in watching it, no matter how it's presented. Yeah.
No, I disagree.
No, it is someone's responsibility to present it to us. It is also our responsibility to show interest. You can only take your horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink.
No, Prince will.
Yeah.
Because you do not need to present it in a way that your target audience will lose interest.
Exactly.
You need to present it in a way that is you will draw their interest and also draw the interest of other people. We've seen where the gap lies. It's not as if the culture is not preserved. The culture is actually preserved, but the how is the matter, and how is that culture disseminated is another thing that we need to discuss. So, NTA would have the archive. Don't be surprised. This festival NTA showed it last year or the year before. It's possible, but
we did not care about the way they showed
it.
But
like Jerry said, how was it presented? The videos, the audios, for it to make it catchy. Ojude Oba just blew because of Mr. Farouk Oriagba. He was on a horse with his tattoo, with a cigar in his hand. He connected.
He changed the perception of how that festival was seen.
He changed that perception. Was the festival held the year before? Yes. Did Mr. Farouk attend? Yes. The year before. He's practically been doing the same thing he has been doing all.
But somebody showcased it the right
it was
way.
Showcased. Let me even bust you. Let me even say this. I listened to one of his interviews. Even his kids abroad that were really not paying much attention to it. They live with their father. They know that their father is always participating. They became interested when the whole thing blew up. So now that it has blown up, how do we preserve it?
That leads us actually to the next part that is in our conversation. First is first. Culture without strategy. After this festival became popular online, the last couple of days, all I've seen is it has come to the same thing again. The people of Ogun State, they are bragging about festival, and tribalism is eating us very deep. It has made we don't appreciate anything without looking comparison anymore. I don't know when it became popular, but it is eating us deep, because I was saddened by how a festival that was beautiful, instead of thinking of how we can make it better, it now turned into a, oh, look at the roads in Ogun State. Then we show you Ojude Oba festival, but look at the roads in Ogun State. Look at this one. The governor is not doing this. So it's how can we, or what are the economic and development opportunities? Because I really don't want us to talk about, everybody has spoken about what is not there, but what opportunities, how can we make it? Because now we are looking at tourism packages, investment opportunities, fashion and merchandise branding, and how we can collaborate. So how can we make Ojude Oba bigger than what it is? What opportunities lie there? Let me start with IK. How do you think we can make this like bigger?
Yeah, so I think I want to start with the Ojude Oba has been there for over 100 years, and the Ijebu people have been able to preserve it for that long. You know, even during this whole conversation, it has always has this glitz and glamour. So I think they brought in a newspaper article from like when during Obasanjo's first tenure, where even the vice president then Atiku attended. You know, so it has always been there, and they have these age groups that they have, where when you get to a certain age, you can now join this. I think they call them Regbe. I don't know how to pronounce it. Regbe group, where you and your people within the same age group are now able to, you know, be a part of the, let's say, celebration. You do your own ashwebi, have your own maybe stand or something, and all of that. So I think that's one way to sort of preserve it. I personally like that strategy where you can do that, but we have to now focus on the younger people who maybe have not gotten to the age where they can join an age group thing. I think definitely it has to fall down to the stakeholders, people involved, you know, paying a lot more attention to it and, you know, seeing it as something that's important, right? We've seen how something existing cultural festivals that we have, how they are able to attract younger audiences. You know, Ojude Oba is a classic example. You know, people are flying down to join the festival and all of that. So I think we just need to pay more attention to seeing it as something that is important, first of all. The people doing these festivals already see it as important. They are able to, there is already a system of passing it down from generation to generation to generation. Now, what are the other things that can be done around it? You know, do we need some form of infrastructure to boost it? Where, okay, if we're hosting like maybe 10,000 people at Ojude Oba, do we have enough, you know, apartments and hotels, you know, a lot of other services around Ojude Oba to cater to those people? I think we just need to keep thinking in the future. If there are 5,000 people this year, next year there might be 7,000 or 10,000 people. How do we
How
prepare
do
for
we
these
cater
people, make
for
sure
these
that
people?
yeah,
Yes.
cater for them, and then we make sure they have a great time. So I think
Mhm.
people, everybody involved have to see that the governor was there last year, he was there this year. Of course, he probably must have been attending all this while. So him, the
In
king,
keyword, how
the
do we
chiefs,
scale
and
it up? How do we scale?
everybody.
How do we
Yeah,
scale?
yeah. So there should be a conversation. The
Well,
commissioner for culture and tourism and all. Yeah.
I think Ike has said everything right now because, first of all, it is their culture, and you don't
Yeah.
tell people how to celebrate their culture.
Mm-hmm.
They never knew it was going to get to this stage, but it is a ritual they've done for over 150 years or thereabout, and it still keeps going on strong. So now, if we want to upscale, we need to think of, okay, how do we make the venue is a venue large enough to accommodate a projected crowd? Do we have enough hotels in Ijebu? I've visited Ijebu so many times. I will tell you that no, they don't have enough hotels to cater for the kind of crowds that will be coming down there. And how do small businesses and SMEs, how do they cash in to the event? Even if it's a 2-day event, it's something that should live in the memory of the people within that area for the next 360 days. How do they, do they need to do what's it called? What's it called that? I've forgotten this word now. That of maybe flags, maybe things to commemorate the events that people can buy. Do you need an Ojude Oba
Merchandise. Yep.
merchandise? Yes. Do you need an Ojude
Mhm.
Oba area? Like a sport that okay, the event takes place. Yeah, just some Ojude Oba village or something. So I'm sure it is something that the conversation would already be going on because I've listened to Mr. Farou's interview several times, and it's a conversation in that space that's going on. But again, one thing about culture, one thing about exposing culture, when you start thinking about the financial consideration, that culture might lose its relevance. Might lose relevance because let me give you an example. Now, for what Mr. Farouk said, that by right, you must be from a particular family. It's not every Ijebu family that rides horses. That's one. You must come from the Balogun family, and the Baloguns are warriors, so they are the ones that ride horses. Now, what he said that because that his own family had 12 horses, that now some families are planning for like 50 horses. The last one that just happened. And a lot of them are hiring riders who are not part of their family to come and start riding horses. So you could see if little things like that might start making the whole event start losing its worth. People will now start seeing it as competition, unnecessary competition, and all that. So
All
it'll be
right.
time.
So, to me, about talking about economic power of Ojude Oba, Ogafemi and Ike had rightly talked about tourism and hospitality. And, tourism and hospitality will definitely give way to real estate and infrastructure. So people maybe would like to live around, rent houses, and, by so doing, the real estate sector blooms and, business, start, blooming in the real estate sector. Then they have also this corporate sponsorship and brand visibility, like MTN, Glow, and other brands, other corporate organizations can really help in sponsoring this Ojude Oba festival, and it's also an economic strategy, not just to showcase the whole thing, but to also empower people in the this thing in the people organizing the event. Then fashion and culture and creative industries. It's a colorful event. People will sell their shebis, all their shebi will show up. The textile and fashion designing companies will also want to sell their products. So it gives way to uh, such local business to to bloom in that Ojude Oba festival, and also handcraft and local commerce. So it creates economic opportunity for these people to showcase what they have and make sales on that day. Then you also talked about the missed opportunity. So
before we even go there, one thing I want us to also realize is Oga Femi said something that is very, very important, that let's not try to, because there is this thing with the commercialization of tradition,
Commercialization,
that there is a point where we start losing track of what's important, and we are experts at it. Lots of people around the world, lots of traditions around the world are able to preserve this culture while doing commerce at the same time. Truth is, I don't want to see MTN branding, physical branding in that Ojude Oba festival. And the Olympics is a typical example. Being someone who has experience in sports media, any participant or any company that is partnering with the Olympics, you have multiple guidelines and rules of things you cannot do with the Olympic brand. That's why you don't see it flogged on different banner samples during the tournament. So we must have that ability to not put only money. Like we all rightfully said, it will create jobs, which is fantastic. We are talking about jobs. This is what we want our government to do for us. There's an opportunity now, and we can miss that opportunity if we don't start channeling it into creating of jobs, helping improve the infrastructure, which is the roads that leads to the venue, giving opportunities to people, loans and things like that, for people to set up real estates for hotels, hospitality in that environment, creating kiosks or easy to arrange and scatter, like those type of setups that you can easily arrange 3 days to the festival. After the festival, you can take things apart to create that space. These things are things that organizations, the government, and I think it lies more on the government than actually on organizations. Even if organizations can partner, it should be managed by the state government because it belongs to the states. And when we look at situations like this, how can we do all of this without losing track of what's important? And not just for Ojude Oba Festival. Because if there's one thing that this festival has shown is young people are interested in culture, not just the way it has always been presented to us. We want it presented in a way that is appealing to us. We want to showcase it. We want to brag about it. And the more young people, we've shown very well that if we brag about this, it picks up international interest. We should start getting prepared for that. How can we get tourist packages of people that we advertise and say, come to Nigeria in this period. We do this, and also attend the Ojude Oba Festival. One organization that has been very successful in doing this in Nigeria is AMVCA. AMVCA started as a small one-day event. I think IK has a good idea of what I'm talking about. And now AMVCA is the background sound. Can you please? AMVCA started from a one-day event, and now it has turned into a 5-day festival where every single day. So things like this are things I think we can actually start looking at. How can we turn each of these big cultural festivals? In fact, I can tell us what was AMVCA? I know you stayed in that industry for a bit. What was AMVCA like before, and how has it turned to today?
Yeah, it was just a festival to see. I'm calling it a festival. It was an award show to honor, the movie industry in Nigeria and the continent. And then I think I can't remember the exact year now. They realized that a lot of people were coming in and they needed to. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They needed to. There's a lot of interest in it because it's like the biggest film award show on the continent, and they needed to, cater to a lot of the needs and make a huge deal out of it and make it a very, very big thing. I think they just decided to add a cultural day. They had a they had a cultural day. I think another thing for the nominees and stuff like that, and then something else, maybe a fashion day or so, and then they added in a number of what I say categories and all. And I think it's now a huge thing. It's not. It's some people have some thoughts or some what I say.
Prepare. See, people prepare for
Yes.
it. Hire their
Yes.
photographers.
Yes.
And we can see something similar with it because
Mhm.
in the last festival, there were individuals who actually hired their own photographers and media team to come and showcase them. So if we can get it in one industry, let's start looking at how did AMVCA turn a single event into a big cultural thing. So things like that. Those are the things that we should start. I think we should start looking at.
Okay, and I think that brings us to the missed opportunity section of the whole thing, because if we are looking at how MVA made the show to be very interesting, we should also thought of what has been amiss in all these things. So one of the things I feel that has been missed in Ojude Oba Festival, it's limited year-round monetization. Economic activities, it's usually concentrated around the festival, but there is little or no off-season infrastructure or strategy to monetize this festival. For instance, no tourism site, no museum to keep the cultural heritage going, no cultural center.
We have museums now.
No, I mean, wait. What I mean is a museum to keep the Ojude Oba active or anything used in the Ojude Oba festival that can remind the Gen Zs and the millennial generation that this is from Ojude Oba. Look at how this thing is done in Ojude Oba. Or
when you have museum is one thing. Getting people into the museum is another thing.
So another thing is
what we're saying.
Another thing is on the developed cultural tourism strategy. So what strategy has been put in place to keep this Ojude Oba festival going? Then we lack data and measurement tools. By now we should be talking about how much has been made, or how much has been spent, or what an average person can spend in this occasion. So data collection is also a problem. It's something that it's a missed opportunity in the whole festival. There is no ROI, return on investment.
I don't think we should go that route. Really.
Yes.
We shouldn't go.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
On investment,
we shouldn't be. Yeah, we shouldn't be too critical.
It's the culture of a certain people, and you cannot link them into saying, okay, let's modernize this culture, or let's turn into a revenue making culture. No,
exactly.
It is they, and if you know the Ijebus very well, they are very, very flamboyant, wealthy, and they express that flamboyance in their culture when they are having occasions. That's why when the Ijebus are having a party, this is an Ijebu party. Forget the Ojude Oba for now. The average Ijebu man knows how to party. He knows how to turn up for a party. So that is them. So it is not about return on investment.
We are muted.
Anybody coming to the Ojude Oba festival, you already know what it takes. If you want to turn up, if you want to bring up your steed,
money should not be. I don't think because the minute we see, I say that the minute you start putting money first into things like this, you lose sight. That's why when we talked about MTN, branding, and the rest, and I'm like, the minute I start seeing Glo, MTN in that venue, you've killed it. I don't want to see anything branded. If you want to be a partner, be a media partner, you can put your stuff, but on that event, I don't want to say, no, Precious, we can't actually hear you. I don't want to see anything branded. Personally, see, tradition and culture, we should not be thinking about profit. The only thing that we should be thinking about is creating opportunities for the people there to showcase their crafts. Creating businesses for people there so that hotel business, real estate, and hospitality business can become bigger for the people. That will come naturally, because the more people are coming, they will buy food, they will sleep somewhere, they will eat. That's the biggest priority for me. But for the events to become something that will start bringing in money for the government, I don't want that should not be a priority. The number one priority should be on how can we showcase this event the best way to the entire world. That should be the number one priority.
Absolutely.
In fact,
absolutely. I wanted to say something about, I think I was going to say, we shouldn't be very, very critical about the people. These guys, the Regbe age groups, I believe, like from the end of this year's Ojude Oba, they're already meeting planning for next year. Again, like Ogafemi said, it's these people's culture. They have been doing it for years. They know how to, if it's to keep it going, that is not this skinny. It's not a problem at all, and they know how to keep it going. And I agree with you on branding. I feel like sponsors can come in, but there should be very, very tight guidelines. Glow has been sponsoring it for the longest time. Yes, there are things you should not do.
I don't want to see a Glow banner there.
Yes. There should be very, very tight guidelines.
And there's one thing that we've never discussed.
A big billboard as opposed to a cultural festival that is showcasing the people there.
And there's one big thing that we've never mentioned, because we can also bastardize, language. We can also spoil things by ourselves. He talks about, now I'm seeing people that I don't think they should be in those courses. See, they should be clear. This is now the responsibility of the organizers. They are doing their best already. What they are doing is fantastic. But I think it's time they start listing their rules clearly to people. Come, you are not a member of so-and-so family. Or if you are making it a 3-day festival, give one to the public. See, if we don't preserve it for what it is, I am not a fan of over-modernizing tradition. What made us love the tradition today? Let's not turn it into a hype. I don't have a right to ride a horse in that festival. If you guys feel it is okay to create a day where everybody can do something, fine. But if not, I don't have a right to ride a horse. I should not be on a horse. I will come and see it. There should be a setup that allows me to showcase my own outfit. But what makes it valuable is when you preserve those things. See, the restriction of some things is what makes it interesting. The fact that I cannot ride a horse with the best part of, why should I ride a horse when I am not a member of the family? So we have this way of Farouk rode a horse, he snapped. Me, I want to get my own steez picture too, because it felt like a competition of who can get the most steez in the last one. I don't want that. See, what made it good? Preserve it. If they are not hearing.
Funny enough, you talking about horse riding. That one is even another industry that can even open up within.
Yeah.
I saw him going on horse riding training in Ijebu. He was going on horse riding training. So one guy was taking him around, perfecting everything. Even his son rode a horse. You understand? His son didn't ride a horse last year.
Oh, now he's interested in riding a horse. Of course, he wants to be a steez man too.
So everything is opening up. So even within those families, horse riding may likely become a thing now. You understand? It becomes a thing. You want to say everybody, maybe they are having, maybe they used to have like 50 horses. Now it goes to 100, it goes to 150. And the next thing you discover that maybe the Nigerian Polo Club that into horses or horse racing, they want to partner with them. You understand? So with time, it will open areas of collaboration, subtle collaboration, if I want to call it. Not really as we're coming up openly for the commercial kind of collaboration. That is where they now start telling you, if you want to enter the stadium, you pay 10,000.
So lastly, you see. So lastly, let's see, because while we are talking about Ojude Oba, let's just go around with how can we make other tradition. We've said a lot of things, but let everyone just give me in 1 minute. How can we make other festivals, other tradition as important or as no, not important. It has always been important. Sorry to say, as
Mm.
how can we showcase better? Or that because I want to say it. How can we showcase better? If there's one thing you can say to the organizers, how can they make it better? Again, not better. How can they showcase it better
Showcase is better.
to the younger generations and to the people outside of Nigeria? Because truth is,
Mhm.
you can create unless you don't want the outside world to care about your culture, which I believe most people want to showcase their culture. How can they make it more? How we start? So first things first, um, it's a template. There's already a template here. Rinse and repeat. We want high quality media.
Absolutely.
High quality media. I feel like the cheapest and the lowest hanging fruit is high quality media, high quality coverage. Um,
Mhm.
and people have underrated the importance of high quality coverage. We did not need an NTA, we did not need a DSTV. Somebody went there, did a recording and posted it. Invites people to come and get high quality coverage of your event. And in the last Ojude Oba, I saw in photograph that I will not go there anymore because somebody punched me in the face, police officer punched me in the face for trying to take a video or something. Manage the media. The media is a very important tool. Give them the avenue and the opportunity to showcase your culture the right way. That's one thing I would just say. First, before every other, and that's the lowest, that is the simple decision making. A single invitation to Neye saying, come to my festival, I'll give you hotel accommodation, this, that. We want you to cover our festival and this stipend. That's enough. Just that. So I think that's what we can start with
Mhm.
first.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. You have to get the media and get high quality media and coverage. And like Ogafemi said, you have to meet people where they are in terms of reaching people. So definitely there should be a very, very strategic social media campaign for this. How do we get this thing out to these,
Yes.
places? And that's where the media comes in. I really, really like the point about creating or managing the media properly. Let people get access tags early on, let them come in, let them have maybe a space where they can shoot their stuff, if possible even edit quickly if they need to get it out in real time. Give them access to wherever they need to get access to. They don't need to be with the king, but you can get them to a place in front of the king where they can take good pictures and all of that.
And if
Where
they plan
that's
early, and if they plan early and they know that we are going to be in this space, however, I want to cover
yeah,
here, the photographer will know
yeah,
that, or the viewer will know that this is the kind of lens I should be using to get this
yes,
picture.
yeah,
So you
true.
won't tell someone that a day to the event or on the events day, you can't stay near here, or this is where you will stay,
Yeah,
and this guy is with a
yeah,
lens that cannot capture a long distance, and
yeah,
you expect him to
yeah.
give you high quality. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all about priorities, and you are very
Yeah,
fantastic what you just said about social media
yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah. I think the other point, I know a lot of young people in Nigeria are very, very in tune with their culture. Everybody likes their culture. You know, if there's something happening in your village or wherever, you like it. You like to hear about it.
Oh,
You know about it.
if there's one good thing
Yeah,
tribalism have brought to Nigeria is everybody now wants to be proud of. Suddenly, before everybody
yes.
was no longer
There's
proud
also
of
that.
their
Yeah,
culture, but tribalism, everything that has a bad side has a good side. Now
Yeah.
everybody wants to be proud and showcase their culture.
yeah.
So
So,
See,
so
let's
yeah.
tribalism,
get to
So
it.
tribalism
that's
is everywhere.
Yes,
yeah,
If you put a Frenchman, an Englishman, and a Russian man, or maybe a Polish man in one house that they should live together, they will never live together. Tribalism, yeah. But the only thing is, you just look above it, look at the positive side, like you're
mhm,
saying. It has pushed. Everybody's talking about Judoba. Somebody that remembers that there's also have the culture of my village. Maybe
yeah,
it's going to like be like a catalyst for change, whereby everybody wants to start talking about their
yeah,
and it's going to
showcasing
be
their
super,
culture.
yeah, showcasing their culture.
mhm,
Like what Prince Will said is exactly what Ojude Oba is about in a way. It's exactly, there's no difference.
mhm,
Exactly. So, and I'm sure other cultures have pockets and pockets of
Stuff,
culture
yeah.
like that. And you can, and yeah, this is me talking. I don't know if I don't know if my facts will be correct, but I think the Benin Empire has a lot of culture still not talked about. The Benin, and
It's about priorities.
yeah,
It's about
because
priorities.
their tradition and culture is one of the most preserved cultures that we have in
So you
this
see,
part
it's
of
not
the
so
world.
sometimes it's not about, see, there's a preserving problem and there's also a showcasing problem.
Yeah,
But if you don't showcase it enough to the younger generation will not help you preserve it.
yeah.
So let's see. We keep saying this, young people are not interested. See, find a way to get their interest. To the old
Get
people,
their
anybody
interest.
that is in that generation watching this, it is your
Yeah.
job to find a way to make it interesting. Because if it does not interest me, best believe when you die, I will not carry it.
And it goes with
So-
what we mentioned sometime last week. They don't teach history in schools. Don't teach history.
I
So-
see.
So and that is how you start preserving culture. You put it in people's heads.
In foreign countries, they have. When I was in school, I knew how many times I went to the museum. You see, but we just went to the museum and came back. But I'm sure in other parts of the world, you might have 1 month where if you go to the museum, you are doing courses about what you saw in the museum, you are doing extra research, and now information is at our fingertips. Museum should just be to go and feed your eyes. But information about all of these things, you should even be doing stuff about it right from elementary school, right from primary school. We should be having things where, oh, you went to visit the museum. Now let's write about these things. Let's talk about these things. That should be a priority. We are not making it a priority. That's why we are losing interest. You cannot expect young people to be interested in something that they've not heard about.
Of course.
I'm way past I'm heading towards my 40s and I don't even know any major. When I was a child, I remember going to Delta State. There are some tradition and some festivals with my father and we saw it. I don't remember anyone anymore because somewhere along the line, something made me stop caring. Now you can choose to blame me for not caring or you can choose to address why is it that young people are no longer caring. And it's very easy for you to say, young people don't want to do it. It's find a way. Why? This is where research comes in. Why are young people not interested? Because I was not taught to care. So, well, we are almost out of time.
Or you modernize and refuse to care.
I don't know if Prince, we can try to talk. Maybe the audio issues have been resolved.
No, Prince is not able to join us. If you can do sign language, please continue with sign languages. Let's wrap this up with sign language. Well, this was an interesting one. We are keeping to time, and yeah, it was a nice conversation, and hopefully someone that, even if it's one person that can make an influence or make a change, sees what we have discussed and it starts a conversation. Actually, this is a conversation starter, and I really appreciate the fact that we are not coming from a negative perspective. It's not about what you are doing or what you are not doing. It's what we can do, the low-hanging fruits, things that we can actually influence, things that we can change, or things that we can improve on to make not just Ojude Oba. And thankfully, I'm very glad and we appreciate the Jebu people for preserving their culture and their tradition and making it convenient enough for us to see. And we also want to thank Mr. Farouk for being there that day. And who I would thank most especially, for being there that day, and his photographer and his cigar. We'll thank his cigar and his tattoo artist. We'll thank them too. I don't want to thank Cancer too because all of those things made the story fantastic. But yeah, we appreciate him. And lastly, I think before I appreciate anyone else, I would put Niyi. He made that festival popular. He was the one that actually went there and he showcased that festival for what it was a year before Mr. Farouk became the man of steels. I remember seeing that festival.
Let's not use the word he made the festival popular. Let's just say
no. It was on social. So okay, let me not use. So he made it trend. No, he made it trend on Twitter.
He made it trend. Good. Just say.
Sorry, he did not make it popular. My apologies. Nobody should come for me, please. I'm fragile. He made it trend on social media, and he's making it trend on social media actually got the attention of lots of young people. There is a playbook that we can all tap from. So whoever is watching, you are not reinventing the wheel. Look at what made it work here, and let's start making it work in other festivals. So, well, on that note, thanks everyone for watching today. My name is Jerry, and yeah, this is Oga Femi and our sign language, Mr. Prince Will. You say by a sign language and IK here. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Now, we do this every week. So every Sunday, we do this. Maybe we'll start putting out something on socials to let you know the time. But yeah, if you're watching on this channel, keep your notifications on so you can always catch it with us. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Okay.